Let me bring in Pablo Torre, host of Pablo Torre Finds Out and an MSNBC contributor. Good to have you on the show. You know, as much as people want to get away from politics, they apparently can't because they're, folks talking about the ditching of the end racism message in the end zone. Commissioner Roger Goodell said on Monday he doesn't think the league's policies to promote diversity will conflict with Trump's views on the issue. And I wonder if there is a tightrope for the NFL and Goodell to walk, or is this really just business as usual?
I mean, the tightrope's familiar to us, Chris. Thanks for having me, by the way. The issue with the whole end racism thing is that it's always been platitudinous. It's always been a cliche, right? I mean, the NFL has demonstrated in a couple of real ways that they are concerned about the perception of what it's like to have a league that is a supermajority black players run by people who are not. And attendant with that have been various lawsuits throughout the year, have been various controversies. Colin Kaepernick, infamously, of course, being told to get off the field by Donald Trump himself before. So this is a long-standing issue. The removal of it, though, and the timing of it does feel at the very least convenient. All of this has felt to me from the start about political convenience. The theater of saying that you are really concerned about something as if putting end racism in the end zone is going to solve that problem. Of course, that's always been performative. But the real bottom line here simply is that this is the most important cultural real estate in American life, Chris, for better and for worse. And so what the Super Bowl is and looks like and what they are saying has, of course, resonance in a way that's deeper because it's the biggest megaphone we have in this country.
Yeah, let's say I think I read in the AP that there are 11 franchises who have never had a black coach. So that's another controversy, who's, really running these teams. But this is the single most valuable sports franchise in the world, the NFL. Forbes says that the Dallas Cowboys, who didn't have a great record this year, are the single most valuable sports franchise in the world. I think they're worth around $11 billion. So, I mean, is there anybody who's about to rock this money-making machine?
No, look, the NFL, when we talk about the fragmentation of everything, I want to just put those scandals and those crises into modern context, because a decade ago, no less than Mark Cuban, formerly the owner of the Dallas Mavericks, was saying that in 10 years, the NFL would face a reckoning, that they were getting too greedy, that, to quote Cuban himself, pigs get slaughtered, that the NFL was getting hoggy. There would be a reckoning because they were trying to gobble up all of the real estate throughout the calendar of sports and thus American life. And the reason the NFL has persisted and thrived, profited more than ever, disproved that prediction as dramatically as you can, is because while everything around the NFL has been fragmented and none of us watch the same things, agree on the music that we like, certainly the politics, but you go down the line, we don't watch the same TV shows anymore. But we do largely watch the NFL. And so the siloing of everything in this era has led the NFL, the lone monoculture left, to be even bigger than they would be at any other time. And so when you talk about who's going to stop watching the games because crises A, B, C, and D, whether it's racial controversy, whether it's head trauma, whether it's domestic violence, whether it's all the serious things, the reality is that we're watching. The product, the game itself, is fantastic. The Super Bowl is the most watched thing every year. 72 of the top 100 TV shows this past year were NFL games. And so you're right. What's the reckoning? Who's going to vote with their feet? So far, we're all walking towards this thing because it is the number one holiday that we have in our culture.
Yeah, I've tried to walk away many times, and I can't bring myself to do it. Once a Browns fan,
same.
Always somebody to be beaten up, right?
Oh, that's particular sadness, Chris.
That is particular sadness. So can we talk about something happy, maybe? I love the predictions. And I'm not going to ask you about whether there's going to be an engagement on the field. I am going to ask you whether or not the Kansas City Chiefs can three-peat. What are the chances?
Yeah, I have the Chiefs winning this. And you're right. Look, I love the sport, right? Once you disclose everything and you say, what do you have left? You have the most compelling sports product with all of its sort of frustrations and compromises. But the Chiefs are uncompromisingly dominant. They are going to become, in my view, the first team in NFL history to win 3 Super Bowls in a row. And the Eagles, who we're showing on screen right now, they are the hardest opponent that Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs' star quarterback, has ever faced. I think that's also fair to say. But when it comes to what the Chiefs are doing, which is to say, winning so often that they become villains, yeah, you're going to see that again. So Chiefs 29, Eagles 27 is, I think, really the take that you want from me. And I will say that with confidence.
I have a feeling that if it's going to up your villain quotient but gives you a 3rd Super Bowl ring, you'll suck it up. Pablo Torre, come back again. We like having you on the show. This is fun. Thank you.
Anytime, Chris. Thank you for having me.